Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Professionally Unprofessional podcast. I'm once again joined by my good friends Reese and Elliot.
Hello, everyone.
Just when you thought you got rid of us, we return. I can only apologize.
I should say, if we're a little less lively than it is now, we're all starting to recover from illnesses at the minute. I'm still getting my body clock back in gear from my time from traveling back from America.
Same, except I also have the burden of a cold. Woo.
So, but we all tuned in for the Nintendo. We all tuned in for the first Nintendo Direct of 2023. How did you how was it? How did you guys feel about the Nintendo Directs being back, especially so soon after the Xbox did their first presentation?
Well, I mean, Nintendo normally do one in February, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it wasn't much of a surprise there being a Direct in February, but I mean, the annoying thing is that it was annoying being on Twitter on Monday evening because everyone said as soon as like 3 o'clock in the UK passed, right, the leakers got it wrong, haha, we're right. And then of course I said, well, that's just Monday, it could easily be announced tomorrow or Wednesday. And obviously we're right, it got announced on Tuesday. And then the leakers were like, and then the people who don't like it were like, the same people were like, oh, well, if you predict a Direct every day, you're bound to be right once. I'm like, fuck off. It just annoys me because it's and we're going to go into the detail about this in another announcement that was in this.
Who the fuck are you following then, if that's the case? I haven't seen anything like that.
I'm not following anyone. It's just so and so, because it comes up on my timeline as like so and so I follows this person, or so and so that I follow liked this tweet. So
yeah, again, who the fuck are you following that they liked those tweets?
That's the thing. I don't know. It's usually, but the thing that bothers me, but it kind of bothered me because it suggests the idea that leakers are never correct, and it's not true. We're going to see so many things in this Direct that leakers were on about ages ago. Oh, there goes. We'll get back to Reese in a minute.
I'm still here.
Oh yeah, sorry. It's on the conference call we're doing to make this. Your image. It's just come up as a picture of your face.
Yeah, or to put it accurately, the video's gone.
Oh, the video's
back.
See why we call it professionally unprofessional. The thing for me though is I don't like it when people put that thing forward because it suggests the idea that there's only one source of correct information.
I mean, I already have. I mean, I'll be honest. I have kind of mixed feelings about leakers. Not because of that, more just because of the thought that I feel like leaking kind of spoils it.
Yeah, that's actually a thing I was gonna say. I was gonna leave this to the end of the Direct. If you followed the rumor mill and leakers, there wasn't many surprises in this Direct. Like, you knew about most of these projects.
Yeah, that's why I try to actively avoid them.
But as I say, I do apologize about the echo. We're trying to fix it at the minute. But
another issue with Twitter as well we had on the night. Musk broke DMs, so we couldn't talk to each other.
We couldn't talk to each other during the Direct because the DMs stopped working on Twitter.
More accurately, you two couldn't talk to one another.
Yeah,
you know me. I never talk about like I never talk about the Directs when it's happening.
But which is interesting because me and we'll get to the thing in a minute. But let's kick off with the Direct. And first announcement was Pikmin 4. We got a new trailer for Pikmin 4.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny because one of my friends, because I was actually kind of talking to one of my friends during it, and he before he asked me what if there was anything I thought we would get. My one thought is maybe Pikmin 4 update. First thing that came up, I was just like, called it?
Well, I'm going to be honest, Elliot. I didn't think Pikmin was going to be in this Direct. I thought Pikmin was a second half of 2023 release, not well, it technically is second half because it's coming out on July 21st. But I mean, what were your thoughts on Pikmin? What do you guys think of the look of Pikmin 4, especially considering they introduced a new little dog to it?
I've known the dog for my one thought was, I've known the dog for 20 seconds, and if anything ever happened to it, I will kill everyone in this room and then myself.
Good Brooklyn Nine-Nine reference. Reese, you like your Pikmin games. What do you think of this?
Yeah, I feel it's really good. We also see the new Ice Pikmin to help change up exploration.
Oh yeah, the Ice Pikmin. That looks great.
Yeah.
That looks interesting to me is that it's not exactly like over the head when it comes to perspective. It seems more like it's sort of more ground level when it comes like where the camera is, which is interesting.
Well, Pikmin, and that's an interesting one because Pikmin is Nintendo's answer to the RTS genre. So how is that going to play out on a more ground level? Is it going to go a bit more brutal legend rather than Age of Empires, for example?
Especially considering older games when you could have like over 100 Pikmin at once following you.
Yeah, that was interesting. Like, how much Pikmin have you guys played?
I've only played 1 and 2.
I've played some of 3, but I have the first one.
Yeah, I got the first one on GameCube. Been a while since I've played it, but I've got and I got Pikmin 3 Deluxe for my Switch. So I never played it on the Wii U. Amazingly, I never played Pikmin 3 on Wii U. I finally got around to playing it on the Switch.
Neither did I, but at the same time, I got my Wii U like 2 years before the Switch came out. So I kind of came and died.
I also, unsurprising. I mean, I'm hoping that I get something for having the Olimar and the Pikmin amiibo in this one because it'll Because I do like the fact though that Pikmin is becoming a bit of a thing Nintendo's thinking a bit more about, because it did for a while seem like that thing that Nintendo was going to discard.
Yeah, especially because we went so many years without any new news about it.
So, for example, it doesn't seem like it's gone the way of like Star Fox and another game that I'm not going to mention because I think it is coming back later this year.
Spoilers.
No, I'm saying I don't know for a fact, but I've heard this game is in is nearing completion.
I'm counting it.
So, to be a little descriptive, I've heard F-Zero's coming back.
Well, everyone's been saying that for about 5 years in a row, Calvin.
Yeah, but I'm hearing more concrete sources say they've heard about the F-Zero probably is coming back. They're just not sure if it's a new game or a remaster of GX. Get your game on.
Hey.
But I'm excited about Pikmin 4. I think the summer release makes a lot of sense considering the themes of Pikmin.
Yeah.
I mean, if I remember, 3 came out in I think August. Yeah, or at least the Switch version did.
No, the Wii U version came out in August. The Switch version came out in October because everyone was saying, why is this coming out in October? This so does not fit the theme of Pikmin.
Empty slot, I guess.
Yeah, I think the pandemic actually affected the release order that year, and that was Nintendo kind of just shifted a lot of things around because it was coming out between Mario 3D All Stars and Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. So it's interesting though. Pikmin 4 is coming out 2 months after Tears of the Kingdom, and I'm going to make the prediction now, considering there's no June game currently announced. There is no June game. I think they want us to spend I think Tears of the Kingdom is way bigger, and they want us to spend all that time on Tears of the Kingdom, and then we'll go to Pikmin 4.
No, I'd probably say it's partly because if a game did come out in June, no one will be playing it anyway.
Yeah, I think that's also a factor. So, yeah, I'm picking up Pikmin 4 day one. What about you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I'll probably get into it.
Okay, so next announcement is, apologies, Elliot. Elliot, you're going to be out of the loop for like a minute.
Okay.
No, it's fine. Come back. We won't be long on this one.
I can't hear you.
Come back. We promise you what we promise we'll be quick on this one because we don't want to spoil it for anyone else. Xenoblade 3 got a bit about its DLC. They introduced the new hero, which don't really know what to make of this one.
No, this hero was leaked about 6 months ago.
Okay, so I managed to miss that one, thankfully. They showed off the new roguelike challenge, which I really like the look of the roguelike idea, and the idea you can mix and match the heroes. As you go.
Especially with so many heroes go unused.
Yeah, that'll be
because they're just not good.
I love the idea though of making up a team of all the various different characters you meet. So that will be
Yeah.
interesting. But the big talk about, and that's coming out on that's coming out actually next Wednesday. So we're very close to that. So I'm going to jump back on Xenoblade next week at some point. And they also showed a small trailer for Pack 4, which is the extra story content. Now, without going into spoilers on this one, we saw what we think is Shulk.
Yep.
And another character from Xenoblade 1.
Yep.
But I'm going to say think, considering what you see in the middle of Xenoblade 3, to me says this might not be Shulk.
A lot of people kind of believe that the other guy, it might be Rex.
Yes,
just
they are pretty much
aged up
confirmed to be them,
So
because they have their swords.
So
yeah, I was mostly thinking because a lot of people were saying he's wearing the same clothes, or at least similar clothing.
Yeah, but they both got the blades of that one. So that says to me, is this a follow-on? Without going to spoilers, Reese, do you think this is a follow-on from the ending of Xenoblade 3, or does this take place during or before the events of Xenoblade 3?
I'm going to say it's a prequel only because we see these characters as statues during the main game of 3.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. The statues we see in the city.
No, my biggest curiosity is Rex going to be just as badly voiced as he is in Xenoblade 2? Everyone else is being voiced really well, and then he's just being absolutely terrible. I hope it does, honestly. I feel like that would be hilarious.
If it is Rex, hasn't he got a different voice actor then?
Well, either a different actor or they just made the actor do a proper voice instead of being high pitched.
Well, didn't he have a quite thick Yorkshire accent in the original?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. So, don't know when the next pack's coming out, but I'm looking forward to getting more Xenoblade. I think we'll see. I think Xenoblade's Wave 4 now is coming way sooner than I thought. I think this is an August release, and we'll see a bit more of a look of it in June.
Yeah, especially because you also got to look at the new zone as well as being added.
Yeah.
That was in the base game.
We're assuming this is as big as Torn of the Gold Country.
I think it'll probably be a bit smaller than Torna was, considering that was completely standalone.
Yeah, that's true. So,
I've said this many times, I'm going to say it again. Tales of Arise was robbed. Anyway.
I agree.
Justice for the Tales games!
So, this is something that leaked out just before the Direct started. Samba de Amigos coming back with Party Central.
Yep, and I nearly had an epileptic seizure just watching this trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Considering all the flashing lights.
Yeah, they should have given us a warning before this trailer, but it's... I must be honest, I'm quite glad Sega's going back into some of their old Dreamcast era franchises and we're getting Samba de Amigo again.
Yeah.
The entire time I was watching this, the main thought is they better have the motion controls down, because if not, this game is fucked.
Oh, yeah, this game is fucked if the motion controls don't work, but comes out in the summer. I'm an old Sega fanboy and I did own a Dreamcast, so I will give this a go.
Yep, one of only 10 people who did.
No, I was the only person I think I was the only person in my entire school who had a Dreamcast.
It makes you feel better. I'm pretty sure I was the only person in my school who had the GameCube.
Same. No, I was exactly the same. Everyone in my school was either PlayStation or Xbox.
I think everyone in my school was just PlayStation. I don't even know this person who had an Xbox.
Next game was Fashion Dreamer.
This game looks ugly.
Oh yeah, it sure does.
Yeah, this looks more like a 3DS game than a Switch game.
Is it just me, or did I think it was a reboot of that game Nintendo made a few years ago? That song that's in Smash Brothers, Ring a Ding. You know, the one that sounds like the J-pop song that's the aggressively J-pop song that's in Smash Brothers.
No.
Because it's always fun to watch people's reactions. You do the Wall of Light mode. You go to the Odon cheerleaders spirit battle.
No.
Anyway, I have no idea when this comes out because they didn't give a release date for it, and I don't really care much about it. So let's move on.
Yeah, not a game we'll be covering, I don't think.
No. This one though, I am very excited for. We talked about this at the Game Awards. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. It's paid DLC, not free. But it's very cheap to pay for the license. It's £9 in the UK.
Well, seeing as it is, it's a collaboration with a big franchise. You kind of expect it to. I don't think it would exactly go by if it was free, especially if it's Konami.
Yeah, no. This was definitely to pay for the Castlevania license, but man, does it look good!
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, holy shit! It might actually get me playing Dead Cells again.
Oh, seriously, I'm well back into that. I've already pre-ordered it. It's coming out March 6th. It looks fantastic. I'm looking forward to using the Vampire Killer and some of the other famous Castlevania weapons.
Do we know if this Castlevania DLC will be Switch exclusive, or will it come to other consoles?
I believe it's coming to the other consoles as well.
Yeah, I feel like it would be kind of a dick move if it was just Switch.
Yeah.
Especially considering Castlevania has... I know we think of Castlevania as being very Nintendo, but it does have a very PlayStation audience as well.
I mean, all the collections are on all other consoles.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So,
yeah.
In fact, PlayStation has an exclusive collection. The Rondo of Blood and Symphony of Night collection is exclusive to PlayStation at the minute.
Please put them to Switch.
I know. I want to play Rondo of Blood and Symphony of Night on my Switch. Next up, a Tron sort of narrative game called Tron Identity.
Yeah, this will just be a game for me then, considering I'm a massive Tron fan.
Oh, yeah. I was going to ask, Reese, you're a massive Tron fan. This must be right up your alley.
Yeah, and it's a new Tron game since like the old Beetle, I think on like the PS3 and 360 that came out with the film.
Yeah, it does make you wonder, has Disney announced any other Tron projects? Because it feels like they're building up to something big Tron-related coming soon.
Well, they are currently building a massive attraction at Disney World, which is based on the Tron light cycles. So people are wondering, there could be a new film on the horizon.
It does, the game and the ride, it does feel like a new film is on the horizon with Tron.
Yeah.
Elliot, I don't think you've ever. I think you said before you've never seen Tron.
The only experience of Tron I've had is in Kingdom Hearts 2.
Admittedly, I did like the Tron world in Kingdom Hearts 2. So that comes out in April. We know Reese is good. I'm going to wait on what Reese says about Tron Identity before I make a purchase.
Yeah, I'll probably review it for the website.
Okay.
I'm probably going to skip, honestly. I don't know enough about Tron.
All right. So next up is... this one a lot of people liked. It's a return of Ghost Trick for Phantom Detective. It comes out in the summer.
Yeah, I completely forgot that this was a franchise.
Wait, for Phantom Detective?
Oh, yes. So what do you think? I mean... Again, I completely forgot Ghost Trick was a thing.
I don't even know what this is.
I think it was an old DS series, wasn't it, Cal?
Yeah, it was. It was a DS. It was a DS franchise that Nintendo put a lot into, and they then just suddenly got rid of it. I think the 3DS. Did the 3DS ever get any games in the series?
I can't think of any, but there could have been it just didn't sell well.
The name doesn't come to me at all, honestly.
Well, it looks interesting. I got to see more of this before I commit to it fully.
I mean, I like detective games, so I'll give it a go.
Well, speaking of which, there's Deca Police, which I don't know why this got such a big deal in the Direct, because it looks like a fun RPG, but I wasn't quite sure why this took such a big deal. Like, is this based on a famous franchise that I'm not aware of?
I don't know why you're complaining, Calvin. A minute in, they turn into cats. I thought that would get you going.
No, I had never heard of this franchise before, unless it was Japanese exclusive before.
Something going on there. I mean, I want to see a bit more before I commit to Deca Police, but it looks all right.
This game will either be surprisingly good or mid as hell. I'm going to call it now.
Yeah, I agree. New trailer for Bayonetta Origins comes out on March the 17th.
That still looks great.
It
looks
does.
a lot of fun. Yeah.
Hey, they went a bit
more... my friend actually said it reminds me of I think Alice in Madness.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I like the fact though that it's the combat's going to be it looks very interesting. It's going to be you're going to be commanding Cheshire to do the fighting.
Yeah, my only problem is having to control both of the characters at the same time. That could lead a bit to confusion during like intense combat scenes.
Yeah, I'm gonna guess that the way they're gonna do it, they're gonna use both thumbsticks for both characters. Like one for Bayonetta, one for Cheshire. Maybe use a shoulder buttons to attack for Cheshire, something like that. Maybe
that could be all over the place if it's not handled right.
Yeah, it may not be very dyspraxic friendly.
I'll take that into account in my review, but I'm still very excited for a Bayonetta Origins.
I'm saying, well, that's great.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
So next up was, and this one didn't surprise me in the fact it exists. It more surprised me that it's paid for. The Splatoon 3 is coming with an expansion pass. First lot is coming in. There's some coming today, some new weapons and stuff like that. But it's mostly going to be. But the first lot is coming in spring, and it's a bunch of new weapon. It's going to be not more new weapons, but you're going to go back to Inkopolis from the first game.
A great meme I saw with this is, you know what? Fuck you. We're on 3 in Splatoon.
I like that one, but and they also detailed a further one later this year, which is going to be an interesting single player.
Actually, no, that's the second one you're talking about.
Yeah, the second one is what I'm saying. That one's coming later in the year. We don't know what that's really about, but I also think they didn't detail enough about what we're getting with this with the first wave, because I don't think just giving you Inkopolis is enough to charge £20.
Yeah, especially because when they said it's only cosmetic as well, like there's nothing exclusive to it.
Like I feel like there's more here that they've not detailed.
I feel like this is more just meant to be kind of a general announcement for the expansion pass. I feel like we're going to get more of it down the line.
Yeah, so like in March or April or something, we get a new trailer saying, by the way, here's more of what's coming in Wave 1 of the Splatoon expansion pass.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just going to assume a bunch of Twitter drops.
Mind you, if this single-player content is as expansive as the Octo expansion in Splatoon 2, that money's going to be well worth it, because the Octo expansion was one of the best parts about Splatoon 2.
Yeah.
Next up was Disney Illusion Island, the sort of Rayman Origins clone.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought while watching.
Yeah, no, this is the one that got announced at that Disney Game Expo, and it was the only good announcement of the entire fucking thing.
Well, I mean, if Ubisoft is going to bring back Rayman, at least someone is.
It does look quite good, actually. I will say it does actually appeal to my gameplay sensibility.
Yeah, I'm digging the art style and the new character redesigns.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a lot of people give a lot of praise to the new Mickey show, so yeah, this would be pretty fun.
Comes out July 28th. It is a Switch exclusive, so it's been made with Switch in mind. I
think a lot of Disney stuff recently has been Switch exclusive.
Yeah, the Disney are really going heavy on the Switch. I feel like they're saying, well, you're basically our Japanese equivalent. Let's get you on board. Next up it is, I mean, that comes out July 28th. I'll be picking it up, I think.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if it has multiplayer.
I mean, I'm also, yeah.
There's 4 characters, so I imagine there will be.
Yeah, I know there's offline multiplayer. I'm not sure if there's online multiplayer. It comes out July 28th, which is a week after Pikmin 4. That'll be interesting.
I think that's a bit too close to Pikmin 4.
That being said, Pikmin games are very quick. You can beat if you don't do like a couple of 2-hour sessions in a day and you only want to do the bare minimum, you can beat a Pikmin game in like a week. Like, it didn't take me long to beat Pikmin 3 Deluxe at all.
Yeah.
Next up was Fire Emblem Engage. They detailed a bit more about the expansion pass. Some of the new characters for Wave 2 released after the Direct. I've been playing a bit of it just before we started recording. It's actually been very good.
I'm just going to say, a lot of people are probably going to...
Oh, shit, what happened? Sorry, Elliot.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, Elliot, you broke off then. You both broke off then for a second. What'd you say?
I'm just going to say, a lot of people are going to be pissed off that Lucina isn't added.
Lucina's in the base game.
Oh, well, fuck me then, I guess. This is what I get for not playing the fucking game.
No, yeah, you get her about 10 missions in, you get Lucina. She takes a while to show up, but you do. She is.
So what's the point of all the other characters? They've already added the best one.
Weirdly, her special attack is one of the most useless in the game. It requires a lot of other characters being around her.
Well, if you're doing the relationship stuff, then you will probably have her surrounded by characters.
Oh god, yeah.
Whenever I play Fire Emblem, almost always a lot of characters are like clustered together.
Yeah, no, I started to do that to get the romance options that I wanted to test out, which but the problem I have with but it made me think though as I was watching through this. Well, all these characters are coming into Fire Emblem because the next one's going to have Chrom and Robin in the next wave of DLC, which is coming later this year. I was like, well, am I going to want to go back to Fire Emblem Engage at that point? And then they announced, oh, by the way, we're adding an extra story segment in the fourth wave. And I was like, okay, that will make me come back. So if I don't want to come back for Chrom and Robin, I will want to come back to play the story DLC.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm tempted to hold off Fire Emblem Engage until all the DLC is out.
Put it this way, Elliot. I would say you should, because if you really like Free Houses, the game has way more depth in terms of the combat, but in terms of everything else, it doesn't have the same level of depth that Free Houses had.
Yeah, I heard when compared to like Three Houses, it's kind of a disappointment.
It's a shame because I think if it had the depth of Free Houses and looked and played this well, this would be potentially my new favorite Fire Emblem.
Which is funny because in all fairness, when I see Fire Emblem Engage and think about it, my main thought is, oh, this is just Fire Emblem fan service. Because I mean, and I like to know, guys, we already got that with Fire Emblem Warriors.
It's a celebration game for the anniversary that's come out after the anniversary, which is why it's not. I think it's not quite working. I think people would have been a lot more better about it if it came out actually in the anniversary year. So next trailer was a trailer for a game called Harmony: The Fall of Reverie. Looked all right.
Yeah. Had nice cutscenes at least.
Yeah, because that's pretty much most of what we saw.
Yeah.
I don't really know what to make of it.
The animation's good, I'll give it that.
But yeah, this didn't do much for me. Unlike the next thing, Octopath 2 Traveler 2, it's got a demo out right now. You get to play the first few hours and you carry over your save data,
which is always useful.
I haven't tried it out yet, but I'm really good. I'm going to try it out later today. I'm dead excited for Octopath Traveler 2. Like, it's one of the games I'm most anticipating playing in the next few weeks.
Yeah, definitely. Should be that was going to be a lot of
fun. They announced a game. They announced We Love Katamari Reroll coming June 2nd. Love a good Katamari.
So carrying on with the remakes of the Katamari series.
Love a good Katamari game, so this will be a good laugh.
Absolutely. Katamari's great.
Yeah.
They announced the release date for Sea of Stars, one of the most anticipated indie RPGs. It's coming out August 29th, and it's got a demo on the eShop right now.
Really like the art style to this game. I'm sure it's going to be great.
Did you guys play The Messenger? You know, that Ninja Gaiden indie version of Ninja Gaiden?
No, because I suck at those Ninja Gaiden games.
Well, it is set in that universe, but from what I gather, it's a very separate story.
It doesn't matter. The story's the same. If the gameplay is as hard as Ninja Gaiden, then yeah, I'm backing off. No thanks. I'm sick of those ones.
No, you're absolutely right on that one. Game called Omega Strikers. I don't really remember much about this one.
It's that free to play air hockey.
Oh yeah, it's a football game that reminds me severely of games like Overwatch and Pokemon Unite.
Yeah, no, this did nothing for me when I saw it. I was like, wow, you can skip this one.
Yeah, especially when the app is free to play, you know it's going to be full of microtransactions.
And you also know it's dead in like 2 years.
It's going to be dead in 2 weeks, dude.
Like,
yeah.
I do wonder how many of the companies now are just going to start cancelling their live service games now, because they must be looking at how many are crashing and burning this year alone and sort of thinking, we cannot spend this amount of money making this for us to get nothing back.
Yeah, just look how many ones Square Enix has cancelled alone. Their live service games.
The company I'm most worried about in how they're doing it is Sony. Like, what are they going to do in terms of live service? Because they committed to 10 of these things, and only one of them is a guaranteed success, which is Last of Us Factions. Like, whatever you think of Last of Us, that's a guaranteed success.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. So, next up was Etrian Odyssey Remastered. This is like a dungeon crawler RPG. There's 3 of them in one pack, but you can buy them individually if you want to. Comes out June the 1st, and the idea is you're filling in the map as you go along, and you're building your team up from recruits. I never played these games before, so I don't really know what to expect from them.
This one doesn't interest me, honestly.
Yeah, especially I'm watching the trailer now. It just looks so ugly.
It looks, yeah, seriously.
Yeah, no, this
it looks like a fucking mobile game.
Yeah, they have not upped the background's aesthetics at all.
I bet. Yeah, there's probably a fan base that's really hating us right now for bashing the game, and I'm glad for them that they're going to get it, but this does nothing for me. I'm going to skip this one.
Yeah,
same.
Unlike the next one, Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp finally got a release date of April 21st. It'll come out almost a year after it was supposed to come out.
I fucking called it, by the way.
You were absolutely right, Elliot. It would come out. I held out some hope that they were going to shadow drop it during the thing, but it's not happening. I've put my pre-order in. I'm so looking forward to it. Reese, you're finally going to get to review Advance Wars after all this time.
Yeah, after a year. I'm so glad it's coming out. It looks so good.
It legit looks great.
Yeah, I think even Ren says he might pick this one up because he's such a big Advance Wars fan, and it does have 4-player multiplayer. So
I will be skipping because I know I will be destroyed by Reese and Ren.
We'll team up and then we'll go, and then hopefully we can mitigate it.
No, that won't work, dude. That won't work. Remember when we teamed up to play Pokemon against those two?
Yeah, it didn't help.
Look how well that went.
Yeah. So that's Advance War. So that's. I mean, we didn't see much more different, but what more could they show us? They detailed almost everything last year, and it's not as if this thing was done to give it more time to fester. The game was done a year ago.
Yeah. But the only thing we don't know about are they rebalancing the heroes and their powers? Because for the original Advance Wars 1, Max was broken because all his tanks got 50% extra damage. So he was the best hero in the game.
I think
because you steamrolled everyone.
In that case, I hope they didn't. I hope they didn't fix it. I hope it's still broken.
Elliot can take the broken characters and that to give him an advantage.
I like broken things. It's great.
You'd love Civ 6 then. The next thing up was Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. They detailed the new epilogue they're adding to it.
Yeah, so we finally found out what happened to Magalore after the story.
I like the look of this sort of like... It's kind of a bit of a... I know it's an overused term for this, but it kind of looks like a Kirby roguelike.
Yeah, especially with how much you can customize it.
Yeah, that's an interesting new take. That's actually really... If I wasn't already convinced on Kirby, that would have been the thing that pushed me over the edge, because that looks like it's going to be genuinely very interesting to play.
Yeah, especially because he said it's also 20 levels as well, so it's not going to be that short either.
Oh, yeah, that's really justifying a re-release. So
yeah,
there's a demo out now you can try out. So I'd give that one a go if I were you. I'm definitely picking up Kirby in a couple of weeks, but Reese has got the review job. What about you, Elliot?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna pick it up.
So next thing was something for both. Next thing was a big deal. They wanted to talk about the future of Nintendo Switch Online. So they announced for the base tier, we're going to start getting Game Boy games, and for the expansion pass, we're getting Game Boy Advance.
GBA, boys!
Yes!
Fucking GBA!
I mean,
hell yeah!
It's one of my favorite consoles of all time, so I'm so glad we're getting GBA.
Oh, dude, that was my fucking childhood. I cannot wait. And we've got so many great games coming out. Like Super Circuit, Minish Cap. We're getting fucking Golden Sun later.
I know.
Yep.
Dude, it's gonna be great. This is so lit.
Let's go over the games in question. And we'll go over our thoughts on it. So Game Boy's got Tetris, Super Mario Land 2, Link to the Past, Gargoyle Quest.
Link's Awakening, wrong game.
Oh yeah, Link's Awakening, sorry. Gargoyle Quest, Game & Watch Gallery, Alone in the Dark. Well, that one surprised me.
Sorry. Didn't even know it got a Game Boy game.
Metroid 2, Wario Land 3, and Kirby's Dream Land, which, I mean, makes total sense.
Yeah, especially if promoting a new game coming out, the remake.
The GBA selection, a bit smaller, but a good selection. We have Mario Bros. Advance 4, which is the remake of Mario 3, WarioWare, Kuru Kuru Kurin,
which I had not heard of before.
I do not know what that is, but it looks fun.
It's a it was a game that was Japan exclusive. Mario Kart Super Circuit, which I've been playing the most of since this has come out.
And does have online multiplayer as well.
Yep, does have online multiplayer. Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga.
Yeah, baby.
Good choice. And The Legend of Zelda: The Minish Cap, which is, I think, the jewel of this selection. I think Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and Minish Cap being there. Games they...
Minish Cap, the most underappreciated Zelda game ever.
Now, they announced a bunch of future games coming. For the Game Boy, they had things like the Pokemon trading card game.
Which I spent a lot of my childhood on.
Yeah, same.
So they have Oracle Seasons and Ages. That's great.
Oracle Ages and Seasons. They didn't detail too much. And for the Game Boy Advance, we obviously have Golden Sun, which was the absolute must.
We're getting fucking Metroid Fusion.
The great choice.
So that's no longer stuck on Wii U now.
Yep, F-Zero is coming.
Fire Emblem.
Excellent choice. Now, we will get to the Don fan in the room in a minute. But I think this is a great thing for subscribers to NSO, because if you've been on the base tier for ages, you've had nothing since July. You're now going to get a new Game Boy games every month, and it's good, and you can play them in any sort of style of Game Boy. Like, they add the option to play it as if you're playing on a Game Boy Color. They add the option if you're of which kind of Game Boy model you had, which I thought was a nice touch.
That's something I thought was super fucking cool.
I also found it rather interesting. You have both the European and the North American versions of multiple of these games. Like, don't give me the European versions. They're crap compared to the American version.
They're doing a fucking PlayStation Classic then.
Well, no, the difference is with PlayStation Classics, you don't necessarily have the choice. With this one, you do have the choice to play the North American versions.
Oh, right.
Which is always a superior version.
They always come up which version it is on the menu, and you can go into the settings and say North American versions only. It's just it gives you the option if you want to play the European versions, which you absolutely shouldn't.
Also, with this, fingers crossed we get the Pokemon games.
Right, that's what I'm
fingers crossed we get the Pokemon games.
Now, I think they are coming, and I'm going to explain why. So we're now at the Don fan in the room. Which is the Pokemon games weren't here. Red, Blue, Gold, Silver, and Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. All those games were not here. And I think the reason... I'm not sure about Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, but I think Red, Blue, Yellow, Gold, Silver, and Crystal will all be in this package, but we won't see about them until... I'm going to say in 2 weeks' time, when we have the first Pokemon Presents of the year. And I'm going to say that because they're going to talk about Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2 coming to NSO N64. what better way to talk about those than saying, oh, by the way, we're gonna add all these games onto NSO Game Boy, and you're gonna have a transfer pack feature that will bring those Pokemon into Pokemon Stadium.
Oh, honestly, I don't think we're gonna get it for a while. Honestly, I feel like they're gonna want to wait like at least a good few months of us getting all these other Game Boy and GBA games until eventually they announce Pokemon.
What do you reckon, Reese?
And even then, I think it's going to be at the start just red, blue, and yellow.
Reese, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I don't think they'll release them all at once. I think they'll try to stagger the releases.
Yeah, they're going to be staggered out. We're going to get red, blue, and yellow first for when Pokemon Stadium 1 comes out. Then when Pokemon Stadium 2 comes out, they're going to say, here's gold, silver, and crystal. And maybe like later, a few months after that, we'll say, here's ruby, sapphire, and emerald for GBA ones. But that's going to really an excellent pad out for your Pokemon Presents in the year. Like, we don't have that many announcements. Here's always a classic game you get to play on your Switch now.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I know people could say, oh, you're wishing about the transfer pack. That has been found in data mining. So
my biggest big dream I wanted when N64 was announced may finally come to fruition.
I would say don't rule it out at this point. I think we will. I think we want to wait for the first Pokemon Presents of the year. Put it this way: if it's not in the first one, I think it'll be in the next one afterwards. But I think we are going to have a Pokemon Presents on Pokemon Day again, which and where they're going to, and the main focus of that is going to be Scarlet and Violet DLC.
I feel like it's pretty soon we're going to get DLC for Scarlet and Violet.
Well, it is now the fastest selling Pokemon game of all time. It sold 20 million copies.
Yeah, it finally surpassed Red and Blue.
It's not surpassed it yet. It's not surpassed in total lifetime sales. It needs 10 million more. And let's be honest, unless it fixes a lot of its issues, it's not going to get past that 10 million.
No.
Because word of mouth is everything. There's going to be a bunch of people that... And there's also going to be a bunch of people that are going to wait for the DLC to be done. They're going to pick up the special editions that come with the DLC. So, actually, going back to Game Boy and Game Boy Advance... how do you guys feel about this extra now that we've... Because it feels like... To me, it feels really good that not only are we waiting every month for what the N64 game is going to be, we're going to be waiting what's the Game Boy game, what's the Game Boy Advance game.
I'm very happy. Like, I was expecting to just get Game Boy. I did not expect to get Game Boy Advance as well. This makes me so fucking happy.
The thing is, I thought Game Boy Advance was worked on, but I thought they'd scrapped it, to be honest. Because we did that, there was that leak that came out of the guy at Nerd, which is one of Nintendo's London studios that does a lot of the emulation for the NSO packages, and he had worked on a Game Boy Advance emulator. But but I thought they might have scrapped it because it seemed like, well, why would you do it now? But it is now here, but I'm so excited to play a bit more game. I think I'm a lot more excited for Game Boy Advance than I am for the Game Boy. Like, the Game Boy games are good, but it's not going to take up too much of my time.
I think everyone's more excited for GBA, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Is there any games that haven't been announced, other than the Pokemon ones? If there's any games that haven't been announced that you really hope... The main Pokemon ones, I should say, that you hope are going to show up on either of these packages?
Just for the sake of it, I guess, because I can't think of anything else, I guess Mother 3.
I'm going to say that's never happening.
You never know.
Yeah, I never know, but I'm going to take a wild
I
bet
mean,
on this
we
one.
never thought we'd get Mother 1 on Wii U. We have now.
I feel like, though, if they're going to do Mother 3, they're going to remake it from scratch to remove some of the more, for lack of a better word, problematic elements from it.
Yeah.
And they're going to charge us a premium for that. So I feel like Nintendo's going to look at Mother 3 and say, it's too much of a headache. But I'm not going to rule it out, because every time I've said that's not happening, because a lot of times I've said that's not happening, it's happened. Which is annoying, which is annoying for later on in this podcast. But I think Reese, what about you? Game Boy Advance games you're hoping for?
Well, if we're going to get more from the Pokemon Direct, I'd really love to see the Pokemon Pinball game.
Yes!
If you ever played that.
Oh, yeah,
yes!
actually, yeah.
I completely forgot about that one. Absolutely give me Pokemon Pinball any day of the week.
I spent so long playing that.
Yeah, you got the one with the AA battery that you put in because they give it a rumble effect.
Rumble, yeah.
Well, actually, in that case, I don't know. I doubt we'll get these, so that will be cool. Like, maybe 1 or 2 of the Yu-Gi-Oh games.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
That would be awesome, dude. That would be absolutely amazing.
Yu-Gi-Oh! GBA was fantastic. And leaving the password system that was completely broken so we could put all our broken cards in the game.
Yep.
Yeah, leave the game as is. Like, one of the reasons why I won if we get red and blue to stay the exact same, because if I remember, there was like one strategy in particular that was just absolutely broken, and I want to give that a try.
Oh god, I mean, the thing is though, if red and blue comes back on this thing, I would never have played it because I don't really like going back to those ones because they're quite broken now. I still think there's better ways to go to Kanto again. If they got the transfer pack with Pokemon Stadium, that then changes my opinion because I'm now like, this is going to give me more reason to be on Pokemon Stadium and try out.
Oh, wait, that's a thought actually. Fire Red, Leaf Green. Do you think we might get them?
Ooh, that's a good.
We may do down the line, but not
immediately.
Yeah, not immediately. Not like when we get. Obviously, not when we get red and blue.
And Nintendo knows the value of these games. They're gonna trickle them out because they know the value of this content. Yeah. And you got to remember, there's the mail. You got to remember that the reason why they swapped to the subscription service is because the Virtual Console didn't make a lot of money for Nintendo. Despite the fact that people said they purchased a lot on it, at most they were selling like 10,000 copies of each of these games digitally. So Nintendo wants to get their money back with these franchises. That's why they've moved to this subscription service. And as a lot of people, and it really is that whole point of a lot of people saying, I'm going to buy this, and everyone's going to buy this. There's loads of people that want to buy it. That's like a minuscule amount of people on the internet that are actually saying that. The reality is, most people don't show up to buy it. I mean, everyone was going on about, we need a new Kid Icarus game. When Kid Icarus actually shows up, only 1 million people showed up. Like, where was the rest of them?
Yeah.
That were on about it. So that's why Nintendo's moved to this subscription service. And I'm going to be weirdly honest, I prefer this to Virtual Console. I feel like Virtual Console, I was spending way more and getting way less. I feel like I'm spending way less and getting way more with this lot now. So we've gone on and off about NSO. More to be seen on that one because wow, the next announcement was
Nintendo. You cannot announce a Metroid Prime remaster immediately after GBA. My heart can only take so much. You cannot fucking do that, dude. Just
Metroid Prime shadow dropped.
Holy shit.
Have you guys all picked up the digital version, or are you waiting for the physical version to come out?
Oh, I picked up the digital version. I'm getting the physical as well, though.
Reese?
I'm waiting for the physical only.
Well, which is weird because the physical version is actually coming out later in Europe than it is in America.
Yeah, it's coming out in February in America? Yeah, we have to wait till March, yeah?
3rd of March for Europe, 22nd of February for America. But I will buy a physical version as a backup, but I couldn't wait that long to play Metroid Prime. And they've given a new control scheme to it to be more in line with modern first-person shooters. Vastly improved. I played a little bit of it this morning. Vastly improves that game. It's so much. I will say I went back and played the GameCube one a few months ago. So I am kind of familiar with the GameCube version, and I do think there's an improvement here. There's also a way to make it play a bit like the Wii version as well.
With gyro controls?
I believe it's gyro controls, and it's like a single pointer. But it's I love the look of that. The idea of that. I mean, they couldn't have done this for Resident Evil 4, but never mind. The one thing I'll say about this is, I thought they weren't going to bring Metroid Prime to this one, because I knew Metroid Prime Remaster was a thing, because both Jeff Grubb and Nate the Hate were saying it, and then they got called liars for when it didn't show up in the last Direct, and I said at the same time, just because it didn't show up doesn't mean it's not real, and proved my point. It just meant the information was they weren't ready. It was a real thing. They weren't ready to show it then. They're ready to show it now.
And that's and I'll be honest, Metroid Prime is kind of one of the main reasons why I avoid leakers, because I kind of knew about it and I thought I should be jumping for joy. Now I'm just like, hey, it's been announced. Great.
But the thing that bothered me, the reason I didn't think it'd be here is the same, because they did the thing I thought they wouldn't do. They mentioned it without mentioning Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
So now I expect Metroid Prime 4 to release in fiscal year 2023. So that's between April and March of next year. I expect Metroid Prime 4 to release in that time period. When do we think Metroid Prime 4 releases now?
No idea.
Especially because it's already restarted development at least once. So
I think it's March of next year.
I think it'll be longer, considering we've not heard anything more from it.
I'm gonna say I'm probably think next year. Yeah.
I'm gonna say it's early 2024, but we will see it within the fiscal year, and we're gonna see a new trailer for it, either in June or September.
Actually, here's my thought. I'm gonna say it's gonna come out next year, but as a launch title for the new Switch.
Or whatever new console they want to do. Maybe I'm a little skeptical of that.
I mean, they did that with Breath of the Wild.
That's true, and they do.
Just kind of my thought on it.
See, here's the thing. It depends with that regard. If the new console is backwards compatible with the Switch that we currently have. If it is...
I'm very certain it's just going to be like a Switch 2.0.
Well, if that is the case, what is the point of making it cross-gen then at that point? Because you will be backwards compatible by automatically. I don't see why they'd say, here's a more expensive... I mean, maybe they'll enhance it for the new one, and that will be the reason why you want... But I think wait and see on that one. But I believe...
I mean, you say that counter-argument, Twilight Princess.
True.
Yeah.
The Twilight Princess was backwards compatible. The GameCube version was backwards compatible with the Wii version, but they still released the Wii version. So Nintendo does do stupid shit that we have no idea their reasoning behind. That being said, I believe by September we will see a trailer for Metroid Prime 4. But Metroid Prime 4 couldn't be in this thing because Zelda was got to be the big focus until May.
Yeah.
So, that being said, Metroid Prime Remaster, holy hell, it's good.
I'm just so shocked it was a shadow drop of all things.
Yeah.
Fucking hell, this is like this is probably the biggest remake on the Switch. And you just say, oh yeah, it's out today. Fucking what?
Have you guys played it yet?
No, I downloaded it just before we start recording.
Yeah, I bought it last night. I played a bit of it this morning in handheld mode.
I might just bite the bullet and review it, honestly. I mean, hell, I have a couple weeks until Like a Dragon Ishin comes out. I gave up on Forspoken.
I would welcome that, Elliot.
Yeah, and the site is covered because I've just done my Dead Space review, so we've got a while.
Yeah.
So the next, but the thing about the Metroid Prime Remastered is, I played it on the Switch OLED in handheld mode. Holy crap, it looks good on the OLED.
How does it run?
Fantastic. No drops, nothing.
That's good to hear.
Once again, my biggest one, I doubt we're going to get it, but my biggest one is to eventually get 2 and 3 on the Switch as well.
I'm gonna say right now, because of the time it's taken to get this one done and 4 coming out.
I know it's going to be a while till we get it if we do, but I want all the Primes on there, okay? I want to be able to play all the Metroids on my Switch.
Apparently, the reason why we only got Prime right now is because Retro wanted to do the trilogy, but then they put all their focus into this one, and they just said, screw it, we're just going to do Prime.
Yeah, but I mean, think about it this way: we can now play We can now play Metroid 1, Super, and Dread. We're getting 2 and Fusion in eventually with GBA and when the Game Boy comes out. Imagine being able to play all the Primes on there as well.
That would be the whole, with the exception of Other M, which we all like to forget. That would be the entirety of Metroid on the Switch.
Yeah, literally, that would be the fucking best.
Like, look how much, even if we don't get that much, look how much love this console has given to this franchise.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously, I feel like Nintendo needs to acknowledge how much people have enjoyed Metroid right now and never give us this drought of Metroid content ever again.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
They have to acknowledge how well this is doing. Next thing up, game made by the Danganronpa team again. That's game Raincode. I was very excited for this one. It's finally got a release date of June the 30th.
I'm very interested in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to pick this one up.
Looks really good.
Yeah, I mean, you already know I really love Danganronpa. So anything that's by them, I'm pretty much interested in immediately.
So let's talk next game. This one is the one that I found the most people on Twitter were raving about. Beaten Kaido 1 and 2 remastered. These are apparently old GameCube RPGs.
I've never played them before.
Never heard of them, but the moment they said it's a remake of a GameCube game, I thought, okay, I'm interested now.
I'm waiting. I'm actually going to do my research into these ones again because everyone's loving this I'm following, and I'm like, how has I missed this one?
Yeah, the car battling system looks fun.
I'm looking forward to. Yeah, I might give this one a go when it comes out later this year.
Yeah.
So
my one hope is if it's card based, my one hope is that it's not like Chains of Memories.
Yeah, Chain of Memories. I would hope it wouldn't be like that. This game is a game called Fantasy Life: The Girl Who Steals Time. Comes out in 2023.
This game looks mid as hell.
Oh yeah.
This game is Animal Crossing without furries.
Yeah, it is. It's just Animal Crossing. That's all it is.
Yeah. And my friend who I was watching the direct with just said there's so many games that with this cheapy, cutesy anime art style. And yeah, this is just another gonna get mixed up with all of them.
But the next one was the highlight of the direct for me. Professor Layton and New World of Steam.
Holy shit, new Professor Layton game.
Yeah.
I was so worried the franchise was dead, and I'm glad to see it's coming back in some form. No idea when we're going to see it because it didn't.
It's just a teaser.
Just a teaser, and it just said coming soon.
Yeah.
But I imagine.
Oh my.
I imagine it's coming 2023. I feel like this is a 2023 game still. Like otherwise, coming soon is meaningless if this is coming out in 2024.
Yeah, I'd say like maybe late 2023 if you ask me.
Yeah, I feel like it should have just said late 2023 at the end of it rather than coming soon.
Yeah, I'm certain we're going to be seeing more of it in the September direct at the latest. I say.
I think we'll see it in the June direct because I think it's a guarantee for the June direct.
Yeah, hence why I said September at the latest.
Yeah. But even if what I suspect is going to happen is going to happen, we didn't see much of it, but it looks good from what we've seen. I like the look of this game.
I mean, it's just you say that it's literally just the trailer was literally just missed Professor Layton turning around saying Layton will return, pretty much.
Nothing wrong with that. Let's go into the final. Before we go to the scissor reel, there was a trailer for the Pack 4 of Mario Kart 8's DLC.
Pretty much all we saw was Birdo's coming back.
No, they showed
back.
Yeah,
I completely forgot she wasn't in the game prior.
Yeah, I completely forgot Birdo wasn't in it. But you got that being said, the Yoshi's Island course looks phenomenal.
Oh, it looks great.
And
they've really translated the levels to the track.
And the remix of the athletic theme is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, I'm so looking forward to Pack 4. There's going to be... it's actually really reinvigorated my time with Mario Kart, this DLC.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, like, holy hell, they have just knocked it out of the park with the Mario Kart DLC.
But if we're adding characters now, can we please have Diddy Kong in one of these? Please.
Dude, give us Diddy Kong. Justice for Diddy Kong, yo.
If nothing else, and if you're not going to do that, please talk to Microsoft and add Diddy Kong Racing onto the NSO. I'll gladly play it.
Hashtag justice for Diddy Kong, everyone. Say it in the comments.
Oh yeah, hashtag justice for Diddy Kong, because my boy doesn't get enough. Doesn't get enough love. Okay, so they had a scissor reel of games. Minecraft Legends, that's out in April. That was in that got a lot more detail in the Xbox Developer Direct. Looks okay. Yep. Looks okay. I'm taking the review job for it.
Yeah, I don't care about it really.
Yeah, it's basically just looks like Minecraft Brutal Legend. Blanc, the really nice looking indie co-op game that's coming out.
That game's cute as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that coming out on Tuesday. Mega Man Battle Network Collection in April looks awesome.
Super excited for that.
Yep, 12 games in one package nearly.
That's bloody insane.
Have a Nice Death, a really cool indie roguelike that's already on Steam Early Access.
I've got a review job for that. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, looks good. Something called WBSC Baseball. I have no idea what that was about.
I'd never heard of that before.
Yay, baseball. We get to play Wii Sports again.
An expansion
because Switch Sports wouldn't add it in.
An expansion to Disney Dreamlight Valley. Tales of Symphonia Remastered looks amazing, coming out in a couple of weeks. And that took us to the final trailer. Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, still coming out May 12th, despite the fact everyone before the Direct was saying it's going to be delayed.
You'll know it's had to end it. It was obvious this was going to be the ending. This is like the biggest game of the year at the minute.
Well, the thing for me though is that there are a lot of people saying, even after Nintendo's tweeting from their official account, 100 days to go, they're thinking, oh no, it's definitely being delayed. In this
you need to understand. You're on Twitter.
Yeah.
They're full of pessimists and people who just want to be miserable.
Yeah,
the perfect summary of it is on a is in a Doobus Goobus animation where he's just like, "Are you happy now?" I'm never happy.
Yeah, that is that sums it up pretty well. But because I sort of knew Nintendo can't tweet out 100 days to go and then say, "Oh, actually, it's not going to be 197 days." But the reality is that it's done. The game's done. They're getting the quality assurance down. It will go gold in about a month, 2 months time, and we're gonna get to enjoy it. They're bringing out a collector's edition, which admittedly doesn't look as good as the Breath of the Wild collector's edition, if I'm going to be honest. And they're also bringing out a Link amiibo that gives you a new kind of parasail in the game, which I'm going to pick up because I'm obsessed with collecting amiibo.
As we know.
And you wonder why you don't have a girlfriend.
Oh shit! I've actually bought. I've actually this week found a cheap Dark Souls amiibo on eBay.
Ah, you motherfucker! You found a Solar amiibo. God damn it.
Other than that, not much information was in this trailer. Like they showed, it was more of a story trailer, but it was also very cryptic as well. I feel like a lot of stuff is being held back from us even now. I thought we were going to get a little more detail than this in the Tears of the Kingdom.
No, I was really expecting to not get that much detail, because that's kind of what they did with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, it took us
much.
It took us a while to really find out how we were going to be playing that game.
I think the only time we really saw a lot from it is in the Nintendo Treehouse E3 the year before it came out.
So on that basis, do you think that means we're going to get a Tears of the Kingdom Direct in March or April?
I imagine so.
I don't know. I generally don't know, because I like to think they want to keep it as cryptic as possible, and just have people discover this stuff when the game comes out.
I'm a bit mixed. I'm a bit 50-50 on it, because I think
this. I'll confirm this now. If we do get a Breath of the Wild, a Tears of the Kingdom Direct, I'm not gonna watch it. I want to go into this game as blind as possible.
See, the thing is, the only reason I might watch it is I want to know what the mechanics are going to be in this game. Like, there's clearly new mechanics coming into it,
I know, I want to figure that out for myself.
Yeah, to be fair though, the whole point about these games it's about discovery.
Yeah, legit.
And also to bring in some mechanics from Banjo Kazooie nuts and bolts.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. Also, is it just me or was anyone else getting a lot of Twilight Princess vibes from this one?
Yes.
Like with the music, with like the coloring on things. I just get a lot of feelings like this feels like a lot like Breath of the Wild but Twilight Princess.
Yeah, especially the darker vibe to it definitely gets a feel of Twilight Princess. That thing that we assume is Ganondorf does look like he could be our Twilight Princess.
Yeah, well, especially because his design matches up with Twilight Princess design.
Well, do you want to know what it actually reminds me a bit? What the antagonist thing reminds me a bit more of? Reminds me a bit of Yoga, I think it is, from Link Between Worlds.
Oh yeah, actually, I see your point with that one, and it does fit in with the idea that people have about theorizing with where Breath of the Wild fits in the timeline, which is it's a merger. The timelines have re-merged together, and they're now back to one timeline. And Breath of the Wild takes place at the end of the timeline.
Yeah.
So that would match up with that idea, but
I mean, when that came out, it completely destroyed my theory of when Breath of the Wild came out. Breath of the Wild was, because I thought it was there was a part of the timeline where the hero dies. I thought that would come immediately after that.
Yeah, I see where you're going with it, but again, there's it's kind of interesting considering that the Rivali and But you got there's a lot of the
Sora, Gorn.
You got a lot of these you got a lot of the fantasy races in there that cannot coexist in the same timeline, which already kind of throw things off a little bit because they existed in very different timelines. Like the Zora being there in the same are interest. It's I kind of think though Tears of the Kingdom is a day one purchase for me. It was always going to be a day one purchase for me.
Yeah.
I feel like it is for everyone, let's be honest.
Well, you say that, but I'm seeing a lot of people online saying they're going to skip it. And that's because that's because this is going to be the first Nintendo first party game that will be in America $70. The standard edition will be $70. It's going to be £60 for us in England, so it is a more it doesn't reach PS5 level prices over here.
I mean, dude, I spent more than that on Forspoken.
I know what you mean. That's and I feel like you're going to get a lot of content out of this game. And with the rising cost of game development, I imagine this one was a massive cost to Nintendo to make it, considering they...
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for this game for longer than we were waiting for Breath of the Wild.
Exactly. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of time and money has gone into this.
Especially with the pandemic as well.
Exactly.
That's not affected it greatly. So I'm not too bothered by the rise in the price. I feel like Nintendo has even made a statement this morning saying this will not be a standard thing. We're going to go on a case-by-case basis with all our games. So I imagine the next one that's going to be this priced will be Metroid Prime 4.
One thing that a lot of people actually kind of complaining about, going back to the prices, is that Skyward Sword remaster was like $60, and yet the Metroid Prime remaster is like $40. Yeah. Which kind of rubbed people the wrong way.
I think it's a couple of reasons. The reason one is that Zelda is a more lucrative brand than Metroid is.
Also, let's be honest, I feel like that you would have had to porting over Skyward Sword probably would have done a bit more work than Metroid Prime, because when you really look at like the control scheme that Skyward Sword has, especially like implementing the button controls as well.
Plus, you also are upping the frame rate to 60 FPS as well. So there's a lot more work that's gone into Skyward Sword. But I've seen a lot of people say, I'm not going to buy this because I shouldn't play a 720, 30 FPS game and pay $70 for it. Right, you were the same assholes that were saying for ages, we need information on this game. I cannot wait to play this game. The second you have to spend more money on it, you're like, nah, fuck this game. It's not worth it.
Again, it's Twitter. But it's full of people who just want to be miserable.
I know, but I do feel like saying to them, I know the rise of cost of expensive. I know we're about to go into a recession.
Yeah. Whenever I think of people on Twitter, I just think of that one scene from Russell Howard's Good News of him as God going, "Oi, stop being dicks.
Yeah,
you all want to be happy. You're all going to die, so just enjoy yourselves."
Yes, thank you. Because I did feel like tweeting to most of these people, "Oh, grow up, you 4-year-olds," because at the end of the day, there's plenty of ways you can get in this thing. If you want to get it on a lower price, wait a little bit longer. By all means, don't get it day one. Wait a bit longer. It will go in CEX and it'll be at least £10 cheaper.
Yeah.
You can, or if you really want a game on a budget, and there's a lot of ways to do. This is a good advice I'd say now. Game on a budget. Move into the indie scene. There is a lot of great games for a cheap price in there that you will get.
You need to understand. I don't think people want to game it on a budget. I think they just want to complain.
I grant. Yes, that's the feeling I got. That's the reason why I didn't like this. This didn't feel like a good faith criticism at the end of the day. This just felt like whining for the sake of whining.
Yeah.
And the reality is, and people will not like me to say this because I'm going to come off as a right bootlicker for the industry, but reality is the rising cost of game development. Games should have gone up in price years ago. They didn't do it.
Yeah.
So
also, people are complaining about the price now. You do remember what the price of games were during the SNES days, right?
Oh yeah, I remember.
Like they were around this price. Hell, some of them were higher.
And look, so the point is, the price tag is not throwing me off when it comes to Tears of the Kingdom. I'm going to try and get the collector's edition, but I'm not going to be miserable if I fail to get it.
Yeah.
So that was...
And I would get the collector's edition, but I've already forked over a bunch of money for the Final Fantasy 16 collector's edition.
Oh yeah, that was really expensive, and I didn't realize.
So I'm not going to be doing that.
So
my poor wallet.
So with that in mind, and that's a direct done. How do you guys think this direct was? I'll start with Elliot. Elliot, how do you think the direct was?
Fucking A. It was. I thought it was really good. Yeah, there was some mid stuff, but eventually there was just banger after banger after banger, and yeah, it was amazing. I thought it was absolutely great.
Reese, what did you think?
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was really good. The only downside was that there wasn't that many brand new announcements for releases. Apart from that, what we got was great.
I think I'm with both of you on this one. I thought it was a great direct, but I wish it had a few more little surprises, like something I really didn't think was going to happen. There's a reason why Professor Layton was the highlight for me, because it was such a whoa, that came out of nowhere.
Oh no, the highlight for me was the GBA announcement.
Oh yeah, GBA.
Like, I did not expect that. No, I expected that to come out later. I wasn't expecting it to come out to be announced at the same point that the Game Boy was.
No, the reason I would say the GBA was another highlight for me was the fact I thought it was never going to come out, to be honest. I thought, we're going to get Game Boy, that'll be it, and then we're waiting for the next console. Maybe GBA will come with that. So the fact we're getting GBA now is just brilliant for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Highlight for you, Reese. What was the highlight for you?
The Xenoblade 3 story DLC.
Yeah, that was no surprise there. But I feel like with Xenoblade 3, I want to know a little bit more before I go ultra nuts on it. But that being said, I'm so excited to go and try the roguelike mode next week.
Same.
Yeah, I like to that. I'm still as a Tales of Arise fan, I'm so jealous of you two with Xenoblade 3. Like, you get so much DLC for it. The most we got with Tales of Arise was a fucking Sword Art Online collaboration.
Oh Jesus, I remember that. The thing is, though, for me, is I'm hearing some news. Tales of Arise might get a second wind of life, because I'm hearing some trademarks for a special edition that will come to Switch.
Oh, please, that will be amazing. For the love of God, please not a cloud version. Please don't make it a cloud version.
Yeah, no, but I am hearing there are some Tales of Arise trademarks going around. So, if nothing else, they're filing trademarks to keep Tales of Arise relevant, but they've got some new names added to the end of it. So, but that'll be interesting, considering Tales of Symphonia Special Edition is coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the obvious thing to talk about what wasn't here is Metroid Prime 4, but I was never expecting it to be here.
I was never expecting it, yeah. One thing I was slightly hoping, I didn't think we would, but just because a lot of other people were saying they hoped it came out, I was hoping the same. You Tamagotchi Life.
I know.
I want more Tamagotchi Life. I love that game so much. I just want more of it.
Oh no, the thing I saw most on Twitter before the direct happened was Tamagotchi Life summon circles.
I just want that so badly. I want that so badly. We got Miitopia, but
yeah. What about you?
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. Reese, what about you? What was missing for you?
Probably just Metro Prime 4 as well.
There was something missing for me, but as I brought it up earlier, F-Zero.
Yeah.
I'm convinced this thing is real. I'm not sure when it's coming out. It will come out some point this year.
Maybe. Fuck, what was it I was gonna say?
I feel like maybe October.
No, something else I was kind of thinking. Oh yeah, maybe like Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, but I guess with Tears of the Kingdom that probably won't be announced quite yet.
No, I think that's early next year, to be honest.
Yeah.
If Nintendo hadn't scrapped it.
Yeah. I feel like September at the earliest with those two.
I think the one thing though, Nintendo has. There's one game that I know about. I know this. I think Nintendo scrapped this because it's so bad. They have no idea what to do with it, and I think they've just scrapped it altogether. Which is the sequel to 1-2 Switch.
I wasn't aware there was plans for that.
No. I heard about it early last year because I was hearing there's a casual game that people are not going to be happy when they see it, and then there was a few articles coming out saying this game's real, but it's so bad Nintendo doesn't want to release it. And I think they have just completely cancelled it. It's done apparently, and they've just cancelled it because they've said, no, we cannot put this out.
Yeah, like, who the fuck will want a sequel to 1-2 Switch?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's like one of the few Switch launch titles that people were complaining about.
Yeah, exactly. What Pinhead said, yeah, this is a good idea.
Unless they mean like another casual Switch game that may have come out already.
No, I will say the source that said this also clarified, I did not mean Nintendo Switch Sports. I meant 1-2 Switch everybody.
Dude, who was complaining about getting Switch Sports originally?
No, that's why he was saying. The guy who mentioned this said, no, Nintendo Switch Sports is a great idea. I was talking about 1-2 Switch everybody.
Oh shit, that's probably something we should have gotten in this, like more Switch Sports stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like Switch. From what I've heard, dodgeball and basketball was showed up in the data mining, so they must be working on that.
My question is, what about baseball? I want baseball to be back in it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What about baseball? And like that I like Nintendo Switch Sports, but it needs a bit more content.
Yeah, definitely.
Has golf been put in yet?
Golf golf came in around Christmas.
After being delayed. Who the fuck delays golf?
By the way, I am shit at golf, as it turns out. Even virtually, I'm shit at golf. So I'm just sticking with the bowling at the minute. But I bought.
I haven't played Switch Sports in fucking ages. I should get back on it.
No, it's if I'm stuck in the house for quite a while, it's my exercise game.
Imagine calling Switch Sports fucking exercise.
Have you tried playing the volleyball? It right does your.
I have. Even then, I wasn't really sweating much. All that happened was it made my arm a bit stiff.
So other than that, I feel like F-Zero is the only thing that I sort of know about, but didn't like Fire Emblem. The Fire Emblem remake of Genealogy of the Holy War. That's not coming out this year. Engage is going to be this year's Fire Emblem game. Next year is Genealogy of the Holy War, so we weren't going to see it today.
I want a Radiance of Dawn remake. That's the main thing I want for Fire Emblem at the minute.
Genealogy of the Holy War does well. I think they will consider that, to be honest.
I hope we do get it. I really hope we do.
It'd be really much easier to find.
Yeah, actually, I mean, who knows? No one intended. They might just do one for Awakening.
Seriously, though.
Which, I mean, what complain about, but I want Radiance of Dawn more.
Oh, yeah, that's a tough call. I think I'd rather take Awakening out of those two, because Awakening is so good.
Yeah, it's really good, but, like, come on, Radiance of Dawn is, like, one of the hardest Fire Emblem games to get your hands on.
Yeah, especially at a cheap price. Like, the cheapest one I've seen was, like, 135 quid.
Still, not expensive for 60 Gallon of Darkness.
Jesus.
Which I am very happy I got when I was a kid.
Yeah, if I want to play that, I'm just gonna beg to borrow yours. But the next thing to talk, I feel like one of the things that surprised me about this Direct is not too many people complained about the lack of Pokemon with the Game Boy announcements.
Well, they're probably going to split that in the Pokemon Presents. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I know, but it's weird for it's weird for Nintendo fans to get a sense of perspective about these sort of things.
Mm.
And I say that as a Nintendo fan, that we all fall into this trap.
No, let's be honest. Most Nintendo fans are kind of babies.
No, I would say that's I'd say that's almost any fan base for any company. I would say you can get so vitriolic that you end up making an ass of yourself.
Yeah.
None of us are immune to it. It's just human nature.
Actually, it's a thought. Some of them are a bit surprised by that wasn't the Sonic Frontiers DLC.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point. I feel like that's coming later this year. We'll see more of that later this year, because I think they want to show off the story segment they're adding.
Yeah.
That would make me jump back. There's a reason I haven't deleted Sonic Frontiers from my PS5. So, quick question actually on this one, because I was listening to Nate the Hates podcast before this Direct came out, and I listened to his predictions podcast that he launched just as we were landing in the UK. And he said this Direct is going to be a tone for the year, and that will determine whether we're getting the June Direct is going to be a general, or if they're going to have a partner showcase again, because Nintendo, we now know, will not be at E3 this year. Now that just means there's no booth on the floor. They are going to have a presentation in June still. Same with Xbox, same with PlayStation. They will have a presentation. They're just not spending the money to actually go to E3. So, on that basis, do you think it's a general in June or a partner showcase?
At this point, I'd probably say partner showcase.
Yeah, sounds like a partner showcase.
I'm a bit mixed on it, because I think, for one thing, in terms of Nintendo first party, nothing goes beyond July in this thing. So, I feel like if there was a September release in here, or an October release, I would say, yep, definitely it's a partner showcase. But the lack of that is starting to make me doubt that. But my gut instinct is saying it's a partner showcase, and that it's going to be a major third-party game that's going to dominate the second half of the year.
Yeah, that's I mean, I'll be honest. I feel like if there's going to be anything that comes out in like October during a time period that they won't be able to announce in the September Direct, I feel like they probably just drop it on Twitter or something.
Yeah,
that's a good point, because like, I know, for example, F-Zero, that's going to be a big deal for a lot of people, but for a lot of people, they're not going to give a shit. So that's not a big enough thing to open or close a Direct. For example, F-Zero's going in the middle.
I mean, you probably say the opposite for Metroid Prime. That was, like, right in the middle.
Yeah, I see your point. That should have... But I see you could have...
You can also say the same for Pikmin, and that started it off.
Oh, yeah, true, to be fair. But, also, you could have said that about Deus Ex Machina. Which one was it? That mech game that appeared on the Switch, and they kept...
Oh, Daemon X Machina.
Daemon X Machina. Like, why? I know Nintendo was publishing that, but that would seem really weird to open a Direct with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not as if they always pick the right opening and closing trailers. Yeah, I feel like it's a bit touch and go at this point, but I feel like if it is a partner showcase in June, it's not as if we're going to be wanting for more on the Switch. I feel like I think we're all agreed though. Nintendo will have, despite that article saying there won't be heavy hitters, Nintendo will have quality releases in the second half of the year.
Oh yeah, that's pretty sure. They always have some pretty quality stuff in like the second half anyway.
So I think, despite that article saying, and there's only one article that used the word heavy hitters, I think we're going to get some good stuff in the second half of the year after Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the guy who wrote the article even said he doesn't consider Metroid Prime 4 a heavy hitter, so I think you're going to have to take that article now with a pinch of salt.
No, in that case, that article does not know what the writer does not know what the fuck they were on about.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like, Metroid Prime 4 is such a big deal. Like, that would be a huge deal. I don't think it is coming out in 2023. I think it's an early 2024 game. But
yeah.
I can't think what's coming out in the second half of the year, and I'm actually quite glad I can't think of what's coming out in the second half of the year, because I think there's room to have a big surprise. Like, even if you go with like third parties, like say for example, it's a partner showcase, and one of the things they show off is the release date for Professor Layton. That's a really good deal for the second half of the year to have a new Professor Layton game. And there's a lot of Nintendo fans that will say, yeah, there's no, like, say for example, it's October. There's no first party releases in October. Brilliant, we got Professor Layton. That will fill in the void.
Yeah.
So that's all well and good. So we're back with Anime Amigos in a couple of weeks. But we're also going to have another Unprofessional also in a couple of weeks. We're going to talk about Elden Ring being a year old. And and Ren's going to be joining us for that one.
Yay!
So, thank you very much for joining us, guys. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much, guys. Goodbye.
Bye, y'all.